What you wanna say? Don't you wanna go? Do you wanna feel? Do you wanna grow? Feeling all type of feels and chills from you. Thinking of all the ways we can communicate.
What's up, world? It is your girl, Deanasia. I'm back with episode 2. Oh my gosh, we have so much to uncover tonight. Yes, Wind Down Wednesdays. Now, I know y'all like, where have you been, girl? If you've been wondering, I hope you have. I was on vacation. So I have vacation here right now. So that is one reason why I've been a little MIA. You know, sometimes in life you definitely have to take those moments to just relax. But for me, I was celebrating my cousin's high school graduation. Shout out to my cousin. Jeez. So yeah, that's what my vacation really was for. But I totally enjoyed myself. And I had the time to really, again, relax, celebrate, of course, but also think about what we're going to dive into tonight. Yes. And there's so much I really want to uncover. So we're definitely going to get started. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so now, y'all. Click the like button, the subscribe button, okay? All that. Like it, subscribe. Of course, I'm going to have the, the little logo. Subscribe. Definitely. And of course, if you're just following, just listening on Apple, yes, please continue to do that. But tonight, y'all, the title of the episode is called... It's time to release your music. Just like that, to the point. Of course, this podcast is strictly for musicians and artists. However, you don't have to be, an artist or a musician to listen to my podcast. But, for me, it's about building community with my fellow musicians and artists. So the title, straight to the point, it's time to release your music. Exclamation point. And I'm talking to you while I'm talking to myself. Anywho, but before we dive into this straightforward title, y'all, while I was on my little vacation, I did miss the BET Awards live. I know what some of y'all thinking, girl, you didn't miss anything. But I'm laughing because I know, especially as Gen X millennials, the BET Awards obviously is not what we have grown up or grown with watching in the past 20 to 23 years. But, I've heard some excellent things about, the BET Award performances and things like that. So I just wanted to highlight a little bit of them. I had the opportunity to, again, after its live broadcast, to go back and watch some performances. And y'all, I liked a few. I really did. So I just want to highlight it because, you got to highlight good talent, good performance. You just have to. So straight off the bat, BET Awards, performance recaps. I am in awe of Miss Victoria Monet. Oh my gosh. And it's so refreshing because she is in my generation, my age group. I'm not quite her age, but regardless, it is so just inspiring to see someone like her who kept going, did not stop, did not allow anything outside of her, she's been doing this for years, started off as a songwriter and finally got that shot to get her own music on the center stage. And it takes a lot of patience, a lot of rejection, a lot of tears, as we all know. And I'm just so proud of her. I really am. And I just became a fan of her, honestly, a year ago. So I'm a little late, but I think she's super dope. Her performance for On My Mama, spectacular. I already knew she was going to kill that. But when I saw her do All Right, girl, she's honoring Michael Jackson, little Janet Jackson. I am living for her. Her stage presence is just, what can you say that's negative? Nothing. So, I have to give her, oh my God, Victoria, girl, where have you been? 5 years ago, 10 years ago, we needed you, girl. Save the girl. And then Victoria Monet and Tiana Taylor did their thing. Okay. Now we're going to talk about TT, okay? Tiana Taylor. I grew up with Tiana Taylor, Sweet 16, Google me, baby. I've always been a fan of Tiana Taylor. She is incredibly talented from singing. Girl could sing. Okay, no, sang. Dancing, choreographing. Now she does film, music videos. I'm like, what can she not do? And she's pretty. Okay. But that tribute performance for Usher, that girl, yeah, they did great. Like, stop. And supposedly, I mean, not supposedly, but Tiana was like, they didn't even have a lot of time to rehearse that. I think it was a day. Like, come on. Excellent performers all around. I think, honestly, those two, I mean, top performance of the night for me, I have more recaps. I enjoyed Kiki's performance. Now I know we look at Kiki, some of us are still seeing her as the little girl in Barbershop 2, Akila and the Bee, but no, y'all, Kiki has grown up, okay? The girl has a whole baby out here. Okay, she's grown. But more importantly, she's talented. And I just applaud her making that transition as a kid star, into a pop star, now into like adulthood and being this adult, music artist, an influencer. She has her own podcast as well. I think Kiki's really dope. And she just has good positive energy and an amazing actress as well. I think she did great doing Usher. Oh my God, you make me wanna. Like, I loved it. I loved Kiki, and she looks great as well. Another beautiful woman as well. So, do I have any more recaps of performances that I really liked? Let me think. No, not too long. I liked Coco too. Give it up for Coco. Again, I'm a new fan of hers. Definitely has the vocals. I think she did really well. She commanded the stage, had that beautiful presence. I mean, she's gorgeous, and her vocals were on point. So, Coco. So honest, for me, the BET Awards performances right there, those three, or really four, because Victoria did her thing solo, and then she came with TT, and then it was Kiki, and then it was Coco. So I think those were like my highlights. But honorable mention. Oh my God, I forgot about this one. I honestly, guys, I liked Will Smith's performance. Yeah, I really did. I'm assuming that's a new song, but I enjoyed it. It was super powerful. Obviously, an amazing message. And I'm like, yo, Willie still got it. Go on, Will. Go on, Will. So yeah, if you did not see, some recaps, I would check those out because really, really dope. And I just hope that moving forward, the BET Awards can, I don't know, in a weird twisted way, kind of maybe go back to its old formula of what we were accustomed to 20 something odd years ago. I think we all could say we miss Monique hosting the BET Awards. I mean, don't get me wrong, Taraji's dope. I mean, I've always been a fan of Taraji. Like, seriously, I have. But I think Monique, she's just mother. I'm just BET Awards. I'm just hosting in general. And she's a comedian. She's funny. It's natural. And I just remember when she did it. I mean, again, I'm a teenager, but at the time, I just remember I was like, oh my God, this is great. This is great. Like, I hope we will see Monique back. But also, I was thinking about hosting. I enjoyed when Will and Jada hosted the BET Awards too. That was really nice too. So we'll see. And as far as performances, I know this particular year was a lot of performances than usual, and I think it was less categories, less wins. They probably should change that. Just change the formula up. I think it's great to have performances, but you know, diversify the performances. It would have been dope to see a lot of male singers, and we saw a lot of female singers, especially when we were thinking about Usher's tribute. I know that was a big conversation about why is it only just females? I mean, I forgot Childish Gambino did open, but other than that, it was all female. I didn't mind the whole all-female thing. Most of his music's catered toward females. However, for at least one or two songs, it would have been dope to see two male R&B artists. And for me, I would have loved to have seen and have heard, what's his name? Luke James. Look, I'm like, his face is in my head. Luke James, another multi-talented person. It would have been dope to hear Luke James, maybe sing Superstar, or even Eric. It's Eric Bellinger. I don't know all of his music, but I know his voice. Amazing. And we could have also. I know this is a wild card, but I'm only thinking about this for the dancing aspect. It would have been dope to see Chris Brown too. I mean, just that's my opinion. I mean, I know like Chris Brown, BET was a little touchy, and just the whole situation from draft in 2009. But I just think that y'all, Chris, in my opinion, has been inspired obviously by Michael Jackson, but also Usher. And this would be nice to see, maybe a little balance, a little mixture of male and female doing the tribute. But anyway, all in all, I'm happy Usher got his flowers. We know Usher is an OG in the game, multi-talented in his own right. And I don't even know, what did Usher say in that speech too? If some of y'all know, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave in the comments. Can y'all tell me, like, for real? Because I heard BET bleeped out Usher's speech, and I'm like, what did he say? I mean, he cursed, but what else did he say? I'm just nosy. Maybe I found it on TikTok. I don't know. But anyway, all right, let's move on from the BET Awards. It's every year. Let's get into, again, this beautiful topic of it's time to release your music. So one of the reasons why I decided to make episode 2 about this, I wanted to get a little bit more personal with you all and transparent with you. First episode, I introduced myself. I am also a musician, a singer, pianist, a flautist. I write poetry, and hopefully you have the opportunity to visit my website, www.itsdnasia.com, to explore those things. And if not, there's still time. There's a lot of time. But I just wanted to just kind of bring you guys a little up and close and personal to me. And honestly, some of the things that I struggle with as an independent music artist / musician. So the personal struggles behind this is real. Okay. And this nice little icebreaker question I have for all of my musicians, artists: why aren't you releasing your art? Let's think about it. Ask yourself, what is in my way from releasing my music or my art, right? And I know the general answer is going to be, oh, it's me. Like, I'm in the way. Like, we can get in our own ways. And that's so true. But underneath that answer of me, there are other things that follow. And that's what I really want to break down and share these experiences and these truths. So let's get to it. Here I go. So I know for me, this journey really since, I can sit up here and say since 7 years old when I told my second grade teacher I wanted to be a singer, but I'm going to say since college, it's been a roller coaster of emotions of being scared, being fearful of like putting out my music. And there's always been reasons, it wasn't just, that incident. It was really just things in my head that I allowed to kind of, haunt me. So the first thing was, I've always been scared to write my truth. Not recently, but in my past, I was scared to write my truth. I was scared to write that down as a songwriter. And because I felt like I would be judged on what my music is about. Like, what are you writing about? Who it is about? Like, oh my God. Because most of the time, yes, it's great to write happy-go-lucky songs and, everything. You're dancing in a club, you got some bops. But for the most part, my music is about relationships. Most songs are, right? But it's about relationships. And sometimes those relationships are not the fairy tale ones that we are praying for, wishing for, we hope, And I would write that, but I would be scared to release that. And for several reasons. The first one, I didn't want the person that was involved in the relationship with me to feel some type of way toward me. Really, I didn't. I didn't want to have some lawsuits like defamation of character. So I was like, oh my God, how do I write about this pain or this grief that I'm experiencing about this relationship I just had with this person without disrespecting the person? That's really just how I've always been. And then on top of that, I'm like, okay, then you think about family and friends. You're like, oh my God, now they're going to be sitting here, thinking, oh Lord, now she writing about this man child. She trying to get a Grammy after this. She thinks she married J. Blige, so, or even Amy Winehouse, right? So, those thoughts were with me for so many years, really since like, around 21, 22, when I was just about to exit college. So that was like a really big thing for me. And I remember distinctively having a conversation at the time with my ex about that. I was like, 'cause we weren't dating at the time. Like we just broke up for like the second time. But anyway, I remember saying to him like, hey, I'm going to be writing music about you. Because when I was like gearing up to like, perform more in DC. And I'm just like, I'm going to be writing songs about you. Is that okay? Like, I mean, not that I needed his permission, but I didn't want to disrespect him because at that time, we were still cordial. And not even that, I just believe in respecting your exes. I mean, not unless, you got some real narcissistic, abusive things happening. But other than that, respect your exes. Like, okay, the relationship didn't work. Well, we don't have to go on this like hate bandwagon after we're done with each other, So that's just how I am in general. But anyway, had that conversation with him, and he was like, I understand. Yeah, that's cool. And he was all chill about it. And I knew, like, deep down, I know he's like, all right, don't be telling everything, but it's cool. And I did that. And again, it's not that I was trying to like, again, tell all my business, but as artists, as musicians, it's inspiring for us, releasing the pain. It is. People don't understand it. If you don't, I would really tell you to listen to artists like Amy Winehouse, listen to artists like Mary, listen to the Mary album, listen to Share My World, and you will really understand the beauty, but the pain and the twisted delusion and why it is so therapeutic for an artist to really write their truths when it comes to, love, whether it's good or bad. So that was the first thing, y'all. Scared to speak my truth. Now, am I scared to speak my truth now? Absolutely not. Hell no. Okay? I'm going to write about what I'm going to write about. I don't care who doesn't like it. I don't care if I have a family member saying, you still writing about him? Yeah, I am. Yeah, we had a nice little 7-8 year run. Yeah. I got a lot of stories, girl. A lot of stories. And it's okay. Like, okay, something happened 15, 20 years ago, 5 years ago, you still want to write about it. I don't see anything wrong with that. And then also the beauty about this is there's so many ways you can spin a song when it comes to writing about love. Like one thing I can give an example on, I remember, let me get a sip of tea. The Aaliyah album, which came out in 2001, July 2001, that album was mostly about love, good and bad, and it had a couple of bops, rock the boat. But I remember in an interview, Aaliyah was saying that, this album is her baby, it was, she's more mature now. Obviously, at the time she was 22, and she was singing about things that she obviously didn't do in the past with One in a Million and AJ Number to Number. And she said this album was taking a different, interesting turn on relationships for her. Like she was singing about an abusive relationship, which is titled I Refuse. Look it up if you haven't heard it. She was singing about, a relationship that was kind of in limbo, like read between the lines, check that out. And also she was singing about relationships that needed resolution. We need a resolution. So, it was just like for her, I think she said it was just like so like refreshing, challenging, and different to really take on a different, perspective with relationships and sing about things that are actually a little bit real and that a lot of women actually go through. There are so many women, and my heart goes out to you, who deal with domestic violence in their relationships, emotional, physical, mental abuse. And some of her songs on that album really highlighted that. So again, if you haven't checked out those songs, I know this is an album from back in the day, but the Aaliyah album, I Refuse, oh my gosh, Read Between the Lines. And I'm going to throw another one. Oh, I Can Be, too. That was an interesting one. I Can Be was about being the other woman. Aaliyah was really taking risks. And she wasn't a songwriter. She was, just interpreting and singing. But I think she did a really great job. So shout out to everyone who worked on that album. To me, that's her best. That's, she made 3 albums in her lifetime. I think again, exploring those different genres, sounds, and things. That was one of her best albums. So shout out to that. But anyway, getting back on the train. So stopping me from releasing the music, right? Stopping us from releasing this music. So I just, went over being scared to sing and write about what my pain is. Not being that anymore, of course, moving to a new confidence in what I want to write. And I think all songwriters deserve that privilege. Like, we can write what we want to write. And if you have the honor of dating us, marrying us, or whatever, you are going to be a muse. You are going to be a subject of our, you're the inspiration behind our art. Sorry. And I remember this quote that I saw a long time ago on Facebook. Man, this is when millennials were on Facebook heavy, It was a quote, and again, I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember it, but it was a quote stating like, if an artist sings about you, that is their way of keeping you alive. It was something along those lines, and it's some truth to that, because sometimes, as we know, when you part ways in a relationship, it's almost like it's like a death, especially if it ends bad, right? Like no cordial, like not even a happy birthday, happy New Year text. But if it ended badly, meaning you're not speaking to each other because somebody has too much ego, acting like a jackass, if you know. But it feels like a death, and in that, again, if you're with a songwriter, honey, a singer, we keep you alive through our music, even though technically you are alive. I'm not trying to go all deep here, but you get what I'm saying, people. All right, don't think too deep. All right, so moving on next. Another reason why I just was really struggling releasing my music, really for like forever. Judgment, and I hate saying that because it's like, girl, why do you care what people think? I do. I just want it to sound good. You want people to like your music. You're like, I want them to like it. And if they don't, I mean, am I going to cry? No. But, you just want people to like your music. And I remember a few years ago, a personal experience actually happened. And I'm going to tell you about it. No names will be mentioned, but I'm going to tell you about it because, it was a moment that actually, I think, kicked my confidence down a little bit. So it was a few years ago, roughly, in my hometown of Queens, New York. I had to go to a funeral. My mom and I went to a funeral for a close family friend of ours. She was really one of my grandmother's best friends, one of the neighborhood OGs off of, 195 in Jamaica, Queens, if you know, you know. And she passed away. She transitioned, and I miss her. She was she was a ball of energy. She was an OG. She was just, I said what I said type of energy, standing on business, And her and my grandmother got along famously many moons ago before I was born. You know how it is. Your grandparents from the South, they migrated to the North, and then they all became friends right in the neighborhood. So that's kind of my grandmother and her story. So with her transition, my mom and I are at the funeral. Beautiful funeral, by the way. We send her off into her casket, bury, and then comes the repast. So now, we're all back on the block. We're on 195, and everybody's just chilling. It's just the energy. And it was to a point where I don't know how many people were out there. It could have been maybe 40, 50. I wasn't counting, but it was a lot of us. Okay. And one of my friends, who is really a best friend, we grew up together. He's also an artist as well. I will be having him on my podcast too, y'all. I'm gonna let the world, we gotta, support each other. So anyway, he was like, I'm about to play my song that I have with my cousin. We made up this song. So I'm like, oh, okay. We all just, everybody talking and, and it was a speaker outside. So we listened into the song, everybody's still conversing and the song is playing in the background. And it was him and his cousin. And they were singing a song that was very much acoustic. So it was just their voices and guitar. So I was like, oh, that sounds nice. In my mind, I'm thinking this, like, okay, cool. So once that was done, he's like, all right, now I'm about to play my brother's song. So I was like, oh, your brother do music? I didn't know. Because his brother was a little bit younger than us when I left New York to move to Atlanta. So I didn't really connect with with his brother on a friend level, but I obviously know who he is. You know what I'm saying? He's like fam. But he was just younger. So he plays his brother's song, and his brother's a rapper, and it's, of course, it's drill. What else? New York, right? So it's drill music. And, I'm going to be honest, I'm not into drill music that much, but I am a fan of Pop Smoke. That's probably like the only drill artist I'm like, yeah, rest in peace to Pop Smoke. So, his song's playing, the drill music's going, and I'm like, oh, okay, oh, I didn't know we do this. Okay. So just showing love. So then finally my friend's like, excuse me, not my friend, my mom, play your song. I'm like, no. And that was that fear kicking in, like, oh, you're not going to like my music, and not they meaning like my friend and my mom and maybe her friends. No, it was like everybody else. So my mom was like, play your music. I'm like, no. But she, of course, she's like my number one cheerleader. She really is. My mom will advocate for me anywhere. Y'all better listen to my daughter's song. She tell it to go on sing. Like that's the type of mom I have when it comes to this whole music thing. She means well. So anyway, I said, fine, I'll play it. Okay. So Bluetooth, I connect my thing to the speaker, my phone, and oh my God, I play my song Communicate, which you actually heard in the beginning of my video. So anyway, Communicate's playing, and it wasn't even like a minute. And I heard my friend's cousin, a girl, she said with a stank face, oh, what is this? And then her cousin, who's a singer, who actually sings very beautifully, she kind of hit her on the shoulder, like, and I heard it. We were kind of in a close proximity, so I'm like, expected. And it kind of hurt my feelings a little bit because, number one, I showed everyone else, the courtesy, listen to their music. Again, I'm not a fan of drill, but I'm not going to be like, ugh, I'm like, okay, that's what he's into. So being that my music is very much based in neo soul, hip hop, and alternative R&B, it may not be everybody's cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when you think about, okay, is Lucky Day everybody's cup of tea? Is Sir everybody's cup of tea? Alex Isley, SZA, the list goes on. So, again, I understand everybody's not going to like my music, but just to hear her and see her reaction, it was kind of like, wow, okay, you don't like the music or me and me? Like, it was like, wow. So it definitely put a little damper in my spirit, and things like that judgment, it just messes you up mentally as an artist. But of course you have to get past it, right? Right, artists, right? We have to, we do. It's going to happen all the time. It's going to happen all the time. And that's the other thing I realized. It's like Dee Dee, that's my nickname. That's my family nickname. But like Dee Dee, everybody's not going to like your music. And also everybody's not going to like your voice. I had a family member actually tell me I don't really care for your voice. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay. It hurt. I'm like, okay, what can I do? Change my voice? I need to sound like a different person that you like hearing sonically? Like, I can't do that. So it's just, man, that judgment thing, it's a difficult one to get over, but we have to get over it. I have to get over it, because when you don't, you're sitting there stuck with all these unreleased songs and your Pro Tools, your Garage Band, and you're sitting here like, I'm not going to release it because nobody's going to like it. You got to take that risk. We really do. And honestly, I can say I'm sitting on 2 songs right now. Like, I'm being real for real with y'all. Like, I wrote these 2 songs. Oh my gosh. April. It is July. Now, you're probably saying, well, why didn't you release them? Well, I'm telling you the reasons why. But I will say, unfortunately, I was going through a situation at work that was very taxing on my mental health. So that was a big part of the delay of why I haven't released those 2 pieces. And then going back to judgment, I'm like, okay, I'm singing about something sad. Will people like it? I'm thinking about truth that just happened to me this year. Will people like it? So at the time in April, I had those thoughts. Currently now in July, I do not have those thoughts. I'm actually ready to release those pieces. I am. I do need to re-record one, probably clean up some vocals. And then, you have to do your mixing and mastering. I don't do that right now. But you have to do that. So I definitely look forward to getting those songs, at least one of them, right, out as soon as possible because I'm just sitting. All right, next. What is stopping us from releasing our music? This is the next thing for me. Really huge, y'all. Limited resources. Limited resources. Now, y'all like, what are you talking about with that one? Let me explain. Kevin Hart. I think people who don't create music think it is very easy to create music, meaning you write the song, release it. And it's like, there are so many steps that have to happen before you just like release it. Like, nah, like we gotta, first of all, yes, record it. You can record in a home studio. You can go to an actual studio and pay per hour to record your song. That's the first piece. Okay? And that's like a piece, probably step number 2, because first you need the track. Like I'm not a producer, so it's like whoever your producer is, you need that track, right? So you got to get the track first. You got to get the stems. You got to get this all layered out. So once you have that, then of course you record. But after the recording process, once you're done laying down, your lead vocals, background vocals, maybe some ad libs, and hopefully you don't have to re-record numerous times, but that happens too. Then it's time to mix it. So now you need somebody with a really good ear, an engineer, right? Mix your music for you. And then on top of that, now it's time to master the music. And then, of course, after that, now it's done. But then you want to go back and listen to it. Mastered, mix and master. Okay, sounds good. Now I can release it. Now that sounded super easy, but I'm telling you it's not. And it's really not that easy when you have, again, limited resources. And what I mean by that is, do you have access to the things I listed? Do you have the funds to pay for the things I just listed? A lot of people don't understand that a lot of your musicians who are independent, have to have other jobs to, continue this music career and dream that they have. You may have a job doing something, a little risque, like your Cardi B's and Eves, being a stripper. I'm not telling you to be a stripper. Hold on. I'm just saying that may be your job. Or you may be working in an office. Or you may be a school teacher. I'm just saying, like, you have to have a second job in order to fund the music career because the things cost. So let's say if you don't have the home studio, you want to go to a studio. It costs money to be at the studio for a few hours recording your song. That's why a lot of people love to say, look, before you go to the studio, make sure you got everything laid out, what you want to sing, yada, 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 because it costs money. Now, how much does it cost? I mean, guys, it's going to vary. It's going to vary every state, every city. So I'm not up here about to drop the prices. But all I can tell you is it costs money. And if you're trying to drop a song every month, 2 songs a month, that's going to be a couple of $100, and it can easily get up to $1,000. It really can. So again, having that access to afford that. And then if you're not, a person who mixes and masters your own music, you have to pay for that. And that's someone like me. I don't mix and master my own music. What does that cost? I mean, again, it varies, right? Everything varies. But the most I can say I've spent to have a song mixed, $150. Now I know what you're thinking. $150 is nothing, girl. That's like $1 in today's money. Yeah, when we grocery shopping for sure. But the point I'm making is, again, let's say if I want to put out 2 tracks at the same time, that's $300 just to mix. Oh, okay. Then I had to pay for studio time. Let's just say random number that came up to $200. So I'm already at $200, $300. All right, now I got to pay somebody to master. Now, again, it varies. The most I've paid for mastering music, and honestly, I think this was only because the person, it was mutual, like somebody that knew somebody. They hooked me up a little bit. They charged me $100. So that's a blessing. That's not always going to be the case. So all in all, I mean, yeah, $600, and it's like, okay, that doesn't sound like a lot. In this economy, it is. Because we have to look at your salary that you're making from your other job. You have to look at your bills. We have bills. I don't live at home with my parents. And that's another thing. oh, maybe you should move back home with your parents. Maybe you should get 2 other roommates so you can afford your music career. I mean, I've had people say that to me. And the thing is, it's like, first of all, I don't have to do that. I'm just saying I don't have to. Nothing wrong with that. I see nothing wrong with having roommates. Nothing wrong with living with your parents to save money, to do. This is a no judgment zone on that. But for me personally, I've honestly always been an independent person. Like always. I'm an only child. I have a half brother, but beyond that, in my household where I grew up, I'm an only child. My mother, I'm an only child. So it's like I've been independent. I've never had a roommate, child. No, I take that back. I had a roommate 1 year at Howard University. And it wasn't my freshman year. I lived in a dorm that was singles. So you didn't have roommates at this dorm. If you know, you know, M.HU. But I'm like, I don't want a roommate, especially at this stage. The only roommate I want, y'all, is a husband, okay? I don't even want a cat or a dog. Okay, I'm just being real. It was a real moment right now. So telling me to get a roommate, so I can afford my music career, no. I have a job, so everything's fine. But still, it's just all about being financially responsible when it comes to affording, these services to put out a song. And, it's the who you know game. So it is great when you know people who know how to do these things so they can give you discounted prices. So, just saying, network. You know what I'm saying? Network so you can, all right, charge you $100 a master, $50. You know what I'm saying? But limited resources is a thing. Even with my podcast, being very, again, real with y'all. I had somebody say, girl, like, oh, I like the first episode. Like, it's cool. Like, you did a great job. But, like, won't you try something different? Won't you get a camera, get the angles going, and maybe get a microphone and headphones? I'm like, I'm not disagreeing. I'm like, listen, I've never done this before. First podcast. Also, as much as I want a new camera, like a, nice camera, that's not part of my financial responsibility. Like it's not none of my list to buy at the moment. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm just being responsible. Like I ain't paying my bills. I need to pay my credit card debts. I'm just trying to see what's important. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's not to say I won't buy that camera. You know what I mean? It may just be a few more months. So until then, y'all gonna have to rock with me like this. Yeah. Just get into the voice, okay? Get into it while we build, because you have to start somewhere. I think we all know that. Even as being an independent music artist, you have to start somewhere. No one's going to come out the bat, not unless you're rich. I don't know. I mean, I think I'm rich mentally, my mentality. I have a beautiful home, but I'm not related to Bill Gates. I'm just not, y'all. Yeah. Mm-mm. It would be nice. But anywho, I'm a mess this evening. Winding down, drinking tea. Yes. So let's wrap this up. All right. It's time to release the music artist. Yes. It's time for us really to do this. Move around some pieces financially, with what we have to do when it comes to recording, mixing, and mastering. But it's time for us to do it. It's time for us to stop worrying about what people have to say about what the song is about. Why'd you write a sad song? Or why you chose this beat? Girl, what you doing? We have to stop. Because, one thing that my mom always says to me is, people gonna talk about you whether you're doing good or bad. You see my face? And that is, truth. So, even with music, people gonna talk about you with the music, regardless if it's hot, if it's not. If it's hot or if it's not, they're going to talk about you. So, I mean, what can we do? Just do you. And that's one thing that I am on the journey of understanding, digesting, realizing, and really putting into action, because it's like, I'm not going to continue to worry about whether it be a friend, a family member, I mean, whoever, your coworker, whoever, right? About what they think, and also about what anybody thinks, any stranger. Anytime you go up and you perform at a show and, okay, somebody in the audience doesn't like your stuff, okay, cool. So it's just advice to myself, even, like I said. I'm talking to me as I'm talking to y'all. But I just wanted to lay out those things for those of you who are not musicians and artists listening in. Why are you not releasing your music? Like I said, scared to really speak that truth, write that truth. Judgment from the family and the friends, child. Limited resources, especially financially. Oh, and a big one. I gotta say this to y'all. Scared of rejection. Yeah, that's a big one. And the reason why I had to think about that real quick is because, again, no, not mentioning any names. You know, I've had some connections to the music industry. I still do. So I know you're like, why are you not famous? Well, I'm not trying to be famous, but why am I not in the industry? Well, I have to, you know, I got some work to do. Like I said in episode 1, it's about really building fan base and community and putting myself out there more. So, you know, you do that. Hey, somebody will want to work with you. But more importantly, again, having those connections, and I've been rejected. You know, I have. And it wasn't because, girl, you can't sing. No, I can sing. Oh, you can't perform. No, I can perform. Oh, you're not attractive. Oh, I mean, you know, that's y'all opinion. I think I'm pretty cute. You know, people really call me pretty, but anyway. You gotta factor that in. Let's be real. You gotta factor in looks into this whole career, child. Sad as it is, okay? And that's not coming just from like my mind. It's just the society itself, or the entertainment world, you know. But beyond that, my whole thing was someone told me in the industry, you need to build up your fan base. And it's no lie. I wasn't upset when he said it. It's no lie. So, you know, I have work to do, like I said. But anywho, I'm going to wrap this up, close it down, wind down some more, right? Hopefully, if you're watching this, is in the evening, you're chilling. If you're out and about, okay, you know, but, you know, I prefer y'all to watch me, you know. You're winding down. That's the whole point. I don't want you to think, I mean, you know, it says wine, like get a cup of wine, but if you drink your wine, child, I mean, I'm going to drink my tea. I'm a tea lover. But to my musicians and artists, it is really time for us to really release our music. So I'm hoping that there's a little glimmer of inspiration from me. You're not alone. I'm not alone. And we just here to support each other. So if you're watching this on YouTube, for sure, y'all, please subscribe to my channel. And don't be afraid to comment. Like, we can talk to each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, comment. Definitely tell me your thoughts. You know? Please. Like, we gotta converse. Because right now, you know, it's about helping each other. So anyway, y'all, episode 3. I definitely won't wait as long as I did because I don't have any other vacations planned at the moment. So y'all be getting that sooner than before. I'm not gonna give a date. I'm just gonna be dropping. And don't forget, you know, be confident always. And did I say subscribe? Yeah, I'm gonna say subscribe. I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm gonna keep saying it until you subscribe, okay? And like the video. Share with your friends. Share with the people you know who are into music. Please. This is about building community. I gotta do this. All right, let me put this cold tea down because it's not hitting anymore. All right, y'all take care. Peace and light. Deanasia signing off. Thank you for tuning in to episode 2 of Everything Music with Deanasia. That's me. And man, it's been a great episode. I love being real with y'all. This is really great. But anyway, peace and love. Have a beautiful evening, a beautiful afternoon, depending on when you're watching it. And again, thank y'all for tuning in. It means so much to me, and I hope that you continue to tune in for episode 3 and beyond. Bye, y'all.